Hello, it's Monday, May the 11th. Hope you're doing well. This is our last chapter. I had an email yesterday. Let me go over that with you again in case you didn't get it. But today we're doing the video lesson. I've got some notes for chapter 19, which said it was the last chapter. It's called Fluid Balance in the Body. You won't take a test on this until next week on Wednesday. Okay, let me go through that with you. There's no semester exam, so you got the email from Ms. Burgess last week with no semester exams. This is the last test, and then we'll take your third and fourth 9 weeks test to make up the semester average. If you have a question about that, just please email me. Tomorrow, no video lessons. Okay, that's tomorrow. Just work on the quick checks and chapters. The only thing you have to do this week are quick checks. That's it. All right, so these are due next Monday. Okay, so there's 5 of them, page 431, 434, 435, 437, 438. You work on those today and Thursday. Okay, Wednesday I'll give you more notes for the chapter. It's not a really long chapter, so we should go through it pretty quickly. Thursday you're going to finish up the quick checks. Okay, I got here due Friday, but I want you to send those in to me on Monday. All right. Okay, so finish up the quick checks and video lesson on Friday. I'll give you a review this week. And you have the test next Wednesday. Okay, so you're going to send me the quick checks on Monday, May the 18th. All right, so next week, really all you're doing is turning in the quick checks, studying for your test, and then taking the test. Put it on Wednesday because we're trying to space them out in case other people have tests too. So, all right, so hopefully you won't have too many tests at one time. These aren't exams. Remember, there's no exams. It's just a chapter test. Okay, chapter test. Okay, have a question? Send me an email. Let me show you a few notes for this chapter. And like I said, it's not very long. It's fluid and electrolyte balance. Electrolytes like minerals, like sodium and chlorine, things that are in your body from what you eat and drink. Okay, from the foods we eat. But these minerals rich our body. They flow around in our body fluid and our blood and water and so forth. All right, fluid balance, homeostasis of fluid. All right, so homeostasis is the balance of life, right? The balance has to be from the input versus your output. Okay, so we'll talk about that in this chapter. Fluid taken in, fluid going out. Okay, we talked about in another chapter 4 ways that we lose body fluid, if you recall those. Okay. Convection, radiation, evaporation, and perspiration. Okay, so those are the 4 ways we lose fluids, but we'll talk a little more about that. Okay, an electrolyte is a substance such as salt that dissolves or break apart in water in solution. Okay, so when it breaks apart, you're going to have sodium and you're going to have chlorine. All right, some of the electrolytes that we have in our body, there's sodium is a big electrolyte. Potassium is a big electrolyte. Okay, so anyway, we'll talk more about electrolytes. There's different minerals and things in our body. All right, our bodies must maintain not only a proper water balance, but a proper balance of the electrolytes in the water. Okay, so it's important. We have a balance of sodium and chlorine and potassium and things like that. All right, so let's talk about fluid compartments. Okay, there's a chart on page 431. There's also a diagram on page 430, but in your book. Okay, so you have basically 2 fluid compartments. The ICF is called intracellular fluid within the cells, and the ECF is extracellular fluid outside the cells. Okay, so inside the ECF, you also have microscopic spaces, what they're called interstitial fluid. We'll label those as IF. Okay, microscopic spaces, interstitial fluid. Okay, there's an in between the cells. That's one of the ECF. That's one of the extracellular fluids. Okay. All right. Blood vessels. Remember, you have plasma, which is a liquid portion of the blood. Okay, and that's 90% water. Okay, so that's another ECF, outside extracellular fluid. The fluids inside the cell, ICF, are like cytoplasm and water. Okay, so here's the breakdown. About 60% of the body weight in the average adult is water. In infants, a little higher, 80%. So of those fluid compartments we just gave you, about, this is a breakdown, 4% will be plasma, which is the liquid portion of the blood. 16% would be IF. Now, plasma in the blood vessels flow down the heart and so forth in your circulatory system. Intraterrestrial fluid is the spaces between the cells. Okay, so that makes up 20% together, 4% and 16%. And then the rest of that, 40% is in the ICF. Okay, so here's the ECF, here's the ICF. So it's about 60% of the body weight in the average adult is water. Okay, so this is all the water and fluids. Okay, 20% ECF, these two, 40% ICF. Okay, again, look at table 19.1 on page 431. Okay, you'll see that. All right. Mechanisms that maintain. Well, how do we maintain fluid balance? There's a concentration of electrolytes in the ECF. Okay, we have capillary blood pressure. And we also have concentration of proteins in the blood. Okay, so these are mechanisms that help us maintain our fluid balance. When we talked about last chapter, your urinary system. Blood's flowing in and out of the kidneys, and you're getting rid of excess water along with waste materials. Okay, so you have to pick up water. Okay, but that's capillary blood pressure. Okay, so these are three areas that help us maintain this fluid balance. Okay, so fluid output, like urine volume, sweating and stuff too. Kidneys, the lungs, the skin, the intestine, these are all play a role in fluid output. Okay, the fluid output that changes the most is from the kidneys, of course, but we also sweat and also exhale and get rid of some droplets and so forth. There's some water that is absorbed into our bloodstream through small intestines. Okay, so all these play a role in fluid output. The greatest of all of them is the kidneys, which is the largest part. Dehydration is very important. You have to keep fluid balance in your body. First sign of dehydration, usually a dry mouth, sensation for thirst. When you get that, you should drink water. We should be going through, several liters of water a day, okay, to maintain a good fluid output. All right, make sure you work on those quick checks tomorrow, and I won't see you again. We'll have another video lesson. There's no live classes this week. No live classes done with those. So we'll have Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We'll have a video lesson. I'll send you a review on Friday. Then you can review next week for the test. All right, pretty short chapter. We'll go through it some more on Wednesday.